Rops completely dominated NAVI players on Inferno, getting 27 kills. I will break down his playstyle during the Blast final and show you some very important details that you can instantly use in your own game. These things will help you rank up faster, even while playing soloQ. Rops positioning, game sense and movement will help you win more duels. 4 vitality players are taking B. Meanwhile, Rops is sitting in underpass and waiting. The purpose of this position is to kill rotating cities. What's important here is that Rops is crouching and only stands up every few seconds to catch a good timing and surprise the enemies. He hears an opponent running. He picks and kills Makaze, who was checking second mid at that moment. Interestingly, when Rops stood up, he had his crosshair placed in the middle of mid. Because of that, he could quickly flick both left and right. Right after getting the kill, he crouches so he doesn't die. However, Ima was faster and hits him in the head. Notice that Rops doesn't repick from the same position because he spotted another city near boiler. If he picked again, he would probably die. So instead, he changes position and runs through underpass towards second mid. He hears more enemies. He picks and gets 2 beautiful kills without losing a single HP. I have a few important details for you about picking and movement here. Rops jumps at the perfect moment to land on the floor. On top of that, he pulls out his AK before jumping, so he can shoot the rushing enemies as fast as possible. I also recommend pressing crouch before landing, so you can make the jump properly. Because Rops jump early, he lands while still being behind this wall. If he jumped too late, he would land in the open. Thanks to this well-timed pick, Ima can't see him or kill him midair. Also when Rops picks, he crouches and then quickly stands up, which makes it harder to hit his head. After killing Ima, he instantly changes position and picks the right side. Navi's idea of having one player pick from the bottom and the other from stairs was interesting, because if they picked at the same time, one of them should have killed Rops. But the downside of this play was that Beat couldn't swing quite enough to help Ima. When Beat picked again, it looked like he swung too wide and started falling, so he had to jump. Because of that, he lost a split second and died. Let's watch this round again, but at normal speed. Notice that beside the great aim, the key things here are the details. Timing, movement, and changing positions. That's exactly why Rops wins these duels and make NAVI players have no chance for a retake, forcing them to save. I've got a really cool positioning trick for you. Rops and Zaiwu end up in a 2v2 situation. Rops goes to church, jumps onto the bench and waits. He gets an easy kill. What's interesting is that Wonderful actually checked this position, and from his POV, he couldn't see Rops, but he didn't expect the T player to be standing on the bench. Then Rops picks and ends the round with 3 kills. I will now show you some different Rops tricks for taking and checking apartments effectively. We'll start with the molotov that he often throws at the beginning of the round. Rops aims at this spot and throws it when he reaches the trash can on the left side. He pulls out his Glock and breaks the window. The molotov lands in apartments and stops the cities from jumping for info, while also preventing an aggressive balcony peek. If you don't break the window, nothing happens and the molotov will still burn apartments. If you don't have a molotov, you can stand on the bridge and spam this spot. It's a wallbang for a city standing in the right corner of apartments. I noticed that after throwing the molotov into apartments, Rops opens the door and stands in this position to check if the cities are rushing second mid. The advantage of this spot is that he doesn't have to worry about balcony because he just molotoved it, and if he misses his spray on a rushing city, he can quickly fall back into cover. Then he checks the apartment's entrance. What's interesting is that he peeks and instantly hides again. The advantage of this play is that if a city peeked and didn't see him, he could think nobody is there and start checking other spots, like under balcony for example, and then surprise, Rops picks him and gets the kill. On top of that, Rops has a better chance of surprising the enemy and winning the duel compared to standing in the open and just strafing left and right. He can also quickly hide behind the wall, if for example, he misses his spray. I also have one more tip. I noticed that when Rops peeks from the red door, he checks this position. If no cities are rushing you, then you have 2 options. Jumps into apartments from balcony side, or clear it from the bottom. We'll start with the bottom puffin, and I will show you a few Rops tricks that will help you win more duels. Cities can play in many different spots inside apartments, so separating fights is important. That means picking one angle at a time instead of swinging wide. As you can see, Rops carefully checks every position. He doesn't rush. He picks slowly, so he has enough time to place his crosshair properly. When ROPZ moves upstairs, he does it while crouching. If a CT picked him right now, he would probably miss the headshot. Also, the CT has a better chance of killing you if you pick while holding shift, compared to crouch walking and then standing up. There is another advantage as well. While crouching, you can place your crosshair at the correct height. Now all you need to do is stand up and your crosshair is already on a CT's head in boiler. I will explain more about this later in the video. Then Rob stands up, checks boiler, and after that checks the corner on the left side. Now this is important, so pay attention. When Rob picks the long hallway, he only uses A and D. Because of that, he moves faster and becomes a harder target to hit compared to picking while holding shift. Even though he isn't using shift, he still can't be hurt because your character can take a certain number of silent steps before making noise. I still recommend practicing this on a bot server first. It's also worth mentioning that ROPZ uses A and D to check every position where a CT could be playing, giving him a better chance to win the duel. I have an important positioning tip for you. Bit jumps down from balcony. ROPZ is sitting in the apartment's corner and hears everything. So remember this when you are playing on the CT side. But this round isn't over yet. ROPZ walks toward balcony. He spots one enemy behind site and hears the CT near pit making noise before throwing a smoke into apartments. Now watch how Vitality used this information. Messi jumps across short, and right after that, Flames picks pit and gets the kill. Let's watch it from the CT POV. Wonderful, tried to flick and died because of it. This was a beautiful example of teamwork. Now you already know how to clear apartments from the bottom, so I will show you how to do it from the top. You've probably been in situations where you wanted to jump onto balcony, but made noise and got hurt by the CT on short. Or you didn't make the jump because you tried doing it while holding shift. I will show you a nice trick. Flames stands at the top of the stairs. Because ROPZ jumps from this position, Flames doesn't need to crouch, which saves time. On top of that, the CTs can't hear you. When jumping on your teammate, remember to press W, jump and crouch. If you don't have a teammate helping you, you can still jump up while holding shift like this. From Wonderful's POV, nothing can be heard. When picking inside apartments, you can do it while crouching, so the CT won't instantly hit your head. When you jump right after the molotov fades, you don't need to check a few close positions. In this situation, ROPZ first checks the boiler stairs, and then checks apartments on the right side. When picking the long hallway, he once again uses only A and D. Remember, don't pick while holding shift. Then ROPZ shows 2 wallbang for the roof and pretends to fake a balcony drop. This is what it sounds from the Beat's POV. When ROPZ plays slowly, he sometimes jumps onto the chair, aims at the boiler entrance and waits. Later he shows a simple lineup for a long smoke. Remember to throw it while crouching. I will now show you the order of clearing apartments when ROPZ doesn't pick right after the molotov phase. In that case, he also checks the position near the radiator, because a CT could have pushed there. It's also worth mentioning that when ROPZ checks the long hallway, he once again picks using only A and D. In this round, he made a step and gave away his position. As you can see, even pro players make mistakes like this. When he walks down boiler, he stays close to the right wall, so a CT on mid can't spot him. If you know that CTs often play close inside apartments, you can clear the long hallway while crouching. In that case, the CT would need to flick onto your head. As you could see, there are many spots where CT can play inside apartments. That's why I will show you 2 simple flashes for your teammate. ROPZ positions himself near the red door. He aims at this spot and presses jump plus left click. The flash pops perfectly near the wall and prevents the CT from hiding. If you prefer, I have another version of this flash for you. Flame stands in this position, aims at the bottom of the letter S and left clicks. The flash explodes almost in the exact same spot. If you know that an opper often plays on short, you can throw flashes like this for your teammates. Zayu stands next to the door, aims at this spot and left clicks. Apex also throws flashes. He stands behind the flower pot and waits for his teammate to jump into balcony and move into boiler. Then he aims at this spot and presses jump plus left click. As you can see, Wonderful gets fully flashed and dies. If you are curious, Vitality's flashes explode in these spots. Apex flash also blinds CT on the roof. However, it doesn't blind counter-terrorists on the roof. Now you know how to take apartments on the T side. Let me show you what you can do on the city side. If you know that Ts often jump into apartments at the start of the round, you can throw this simple molotov. As you can see, the fire even covers balcony. After throwing the molotov, the T player will be forced to wait on the stairs. Then you and your teammate can also throw simple nades like this. Zyus nade deals 36 HP damage to beat, and Rob's grenade does additional damage. Now I will show you how to win more duels. When Rob picks boiler, he positions himself on the right side. Even if a T player was standing on the chair, he wouldn't be able to see him. Now pay attention to how he peeks. Robs walks up while crouching. When he gets around halfway up the stairs, he stands up to check the apartment's entrance. He doesn't spend too much time holding one angle. Instead, he constantly moves because he expects enemies to peek from balcony side and also potentially come from behind because there is a smoke there. Because of this movement, he becomes a difficult target to hit. I also have one more detail for you. When Rob crouches, he pre-aims the stairs. Then all he needs to do is stand up, and his crosshair is already placed where a T could peek. At most, he only needs a small crosshair adjustment. At this moment, a T starts shooting at him. Once again, pay attention to Rob's movement. He constantly strafes left and right, only shoots a few bullets at a time, and often crouches, so enemy can't easily hit his head. Because of that, he gets the entry kill. As you can see, Beat couldn't hit him. After that, Robs falls back from boiler. He hears a T rushing mid, so he checks the edge of the smoke and gets a second kill. However, he loses the duel against another enemy and dies. Let's watch this round again, but at normal speed. Notice this, Robs is constantly moving. Because of that, he becomes much harder to hit and wins the duel. Standing still in a situation like this is basically death. Since we are already on the city side, I will show you a great example of decision making from Robs. Zywu dies on the roof. Even though Robs only has an MP9, he doesn't instantly run to pick up the M4. Instead he waits. He checks apartments and boiler because he expects more Ts to be nearby. Messi throws a molotov on mid. Only then does Robs move behind the pillar on the roof and switch weapons. This lowers the chance of getting caught on a bad timing and dying. Picking up the M4 was worth it, and Robs gets 3 kills. Now we move on to some very useful utility on the T side. These grenades will definitely make taking different parts of the map much easier. After checking there are no cities in apartments, Rob stands in the corner, pulls out a smoke, aims at this spot and presses jump plus left click. The smoke lands on long. I also have another version of this smoke for you. Robs first checks if no city is pushing mid, then he positions himself near the edge of the wall, aims between these two antennas and left clicks. The smoke runs perfectly as well. During round 11, Apex shows another lineup. He stands behind a small wall, aims at this spot and presses jump plus left click. This smoke also lands on long. You've probably had situations where you wanted to smoke backside while running up short. I will show you a simple lineup. The advantage is that you don't swing too far onto long, so a CT won't spot you. However, this wasn't a perfect smoke because Robs threw it slightly too far to the left, which encouraged Tima to pick from the other edge. Even so, Robs reacted quickly and killed him. After that, Apex throws another smoke by aiming between the two arches. This smoke was better because it didn't leave any gap on either side. Since we are already on A side, I have an important tip about planting. If you plant in this spot, you and your teammate can save your weapons in pit. With Kevlar, you will only lose around 60 HP. I also noticed that Robs often lets teammates running toward Ram go first. Because of that, Messi can molotov banana as quickly as possible. Now I will show you utility that will help you win a lot more rounds on B. Apex stands near the barrel and throws a molotov with a left click. A moment later, Rob stands in the same spot, aims at this position and presses jump plus left click. Rob's molotov lands on triple and more importantly, there is no way for a CT to hide there. Meanwhile, Apex molotov lands on top of the second boxes. When combined, both molotovs burn a huge area and completely remove many positions where CTs could be playing. Now that you know the molotovs, it's time for the smokes. We'll start with the most important one. Apex stands in the corner, crouches, aims at this spot, and while crouching, throws the smoke by pressing left and right mouse buttons. The smoke lands on boost, so you don't have to worry about this position. Meanwhile, Zywu stands near the barrel, aims at the stick in metal bar, holds both mouse buttons and jumps. The smoke lands on coffins. The advantage is that you throw it from close range. After throwing all this utility, you can also throw these simple flashes for CT. The advantage is that they explode behind your teammates, so they won't blind them. Now I will show you how to counter the city upper. A teammate boosts Apex onto the wall. Then Apex aims to the left of the number 1 and throws the grenade by pressing jump plus left click. I actually tested this on a server, and the grenade deals more than 50 HP damage. So 2 grenades like this can kill a city. I also have one more tip for you. If you know the cities are saving and might be waiting for you near ramp, you can throw this simple nade. As you can see, Ima loses more than 70 HP and Apex gets an easy kill. Now we move over to the city side. I will show you how to smoke apartments from pit. ROPZ aims at this spot and left clicks. The advantage of this smoke is that it lands inside apartments. Because of that, the team player can play on the smoke edge, get a kill and quickly fall back, or hide inside the smoke and jump out onto short. If you are playing balcony, you can also smoke apartments like this. The smoke lands inside as well. If you enjoy this analysis, there is another one waiting for you on the screen right now. YouTube picked it specially for you, so click it and let's keep going.